Look, I don't care how good these things look. They cost how much? Do you understand how much our budget is right now? Do you understand how much our budget is? Oh yeah, just use the last little bit for let us see. G and focus on a very generic by number store. Oh yeah, that's great. That's really gonna make us stand out against the other sea of numerous other things. What else do you want me to do? They just throw all that money in the toilet? I'm sorry. Just big thing, big movie. Just worried we're not going to stand out that much against everyone else. Okay? Alright. I'll see. Bye. Hello again. Welcome to another Toku Ramblings. Today, we are covering a movie, in this case the 2013 reimagining of Gatchaman. So, I guess I'll more or less do this sort of the pros, and then the cons, and then like some bigger cons as we go through. So pros. I do like that this film is not just a straight origin story. It already starts with the team assembled and they're fighting the bad guy. So we're not slogged down by backstory about learning everyone, and that is a problem we'll get to later, but it just kind of puts you in there, and by extension, I do like the small bits of world building this does. And that Japan is extremely overcrowded, as like this is one of the last havens for humanity here on a small island that can barely fit most of them. I do think the suit aesthetics is probably the best looking thing about this. There's a lot of really nice details. They do that edgy 2010 sort of remake thing where they change the colors so they're less, goofy and silly compared to the old 70s stuff, though I guess you really couldn't make the swallow. You probably could. I feel it's kind of hard to do, so other positives. The opening fight scene is probably the best part of the entire movie. It looks the best. We get a use of their powers. The scale of what they're doing as they're jumping around and doing all of these big things. It's a really good thing that reels you in. Yeah. I will say this. This is not a bad movie. It is an extremely underwhelming, at best, middling, standard superhero affair that I really can't stand. So let's get sort of to the cons. You really can tell they probably spent most of their budget on, the first fight and, by extension, the suits, because a lot of the rest of the film does not look particularly that great. Nothing afterwards really. I mean, they're okay. The end fights are kind of impressed with the use of fireworks there, but it's mostly just a lot of CG. And again, it's nice that you want to start with your big epic fight that you clearly put the most effort into there. But I brought this up with the ninja. If you do that, and nothing else afterwards is able to match that, people's minds are going to keep drifting back to that. And throughout the entire film, I just felt deflated because I saw the best of what this movie had to offer right at the beginning, and that was that. And I really do mean they probably spent most of the budget on the suits. I think altogether they cost over 200,000 US dollars in US dollars, which in yen case is over $250 million. And like, yes, the suits are a very big important thing because we are going to be staring at them a lot since they're wearing them. But at the same time, there's still an entire other half of the movie. Really, none of the actors stand out much, which is a shame because they got Tori Matsuzaka to play the lead role, but I don't blame any of these actors. This feels more like just a script that didn't really want to expand or maybe change much about the original characters, but everyone just kind of plays the role they're given. Toru plays the stoic, strong leader. Goyano plays the cool sharpshooter with attitude. Ayami Higoroki plays the strong, modernized girl. Tatsuomi Hamada plays the smart kid, fine line, and Ryohei Suzuki is the big guy with a heart of gold. It's not bad, but this film really doesn't have much joy in it. Like there's really no moments of, fun brevity that just feels natural. Like everyone was told to take this super seriously, and ironically, the one role character I think stands out the most is the main villain, and that's just because she's hamming it up like this is, a film about people who dress up as birds. Well, as birds who use ninja arts to fight an evil organization. That's not saying that it couldn't have been serious, but there's none of that 70s charm or narm to it, so it's just an extremely boring, generic action movie that in 2013 was probably being overshadowed by, well, basically every other sci-fi superhero movie, like Iron Man 3. What else was 2013? Was that Man of Steel? Was Man of Steel 2013? I cannot remember unless I'm looking at it. That's because it's been so long. So long, and again, this movie is just so unbelievably generic and just adds things that more or less feel like they were added because other movies were doing it. So, like, they changed Joe and Joe and Ken to have already known each other beforehand, and more or less there's some tension between them about a girl they knew beforehand who is possessed and becomes the main villain at the end, and which feels like it was just ripped from just the tension film thing, because this film needs to have some kind of drama between them that couldn't be built by, maybe differing opinions about how to treat prisoners of war. And then we have, as part of the second act, like infiltrating a big ritzy party to more or less get a defector into our hands to give us an edge up against the villains. The villain gets captured on purpose so they can more or less do so. And that's kind of the hard thing to talk about with something that's so painfully average, is that at the end of the day you can only say something is fine or okay enough times before people get it. Then it doesn't real. Again, I have not seen Gatchaman before, but I don't feel like needing to watch the source material should be requisite to enjoying something else in that universe. If that is a thing that needs to be done, then you are not job of introducing it to a wider audience. And sometimes it is nice to not have to be inclusive, but I don't feel like I'm watching like something inspired by Gatchaman. Man, I feel like this film was like maybe some extremely generic, boring action movie that just got the Gatchaman paint because it was coming up on the anniversary of the show, and they just needed something. Again, this movie is mostly fine if harmless. If you're just looking for something to maybe riff with friends or just want to enjoy something, it's fine that way, but in all honesty, you're probably better off just watching, I don't know, whatever summer Kamen Rider movie that's coming out, or heck, the Ultraman movies. Those are way better. That's a segue what I might be doing soon. But, yeah, that was Gatchaman 2013. Another remake or adaptation to go with all of the other middling 2010 adaptations of classic works. Yeah, so do the usual things to keep me in the algorithm, and we'll see you later.